chill army, Deondre 7 here, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Anime Episode Reviews. Today we're going to be going over Pokemon Journeys Episode 79, Moon and Sun, Koharu, and Haruhi. Episode 79 moved to a comparatively smaller time than the prior two, focusing back on Chloe once more after the Darkrai and Cresselia 2-parter in an adventure to go to Johto's Eclipse Castle, meeting up with the Chloe lookalike Haruhi, and also the trouble that ensued, on top of letting Chloe's Eevee learn more about Espeon and Umbreon. This episode is incredibly much comparable to a minor episode from the classic era, involving the protagonist visiting a brand new location and accommodate an issue born from the local history that reaches an episodic conclusion, which is especially underscored by how Eclipse Castle is an anime original location that does not even take cues from a canon place or character, alongside a story mostly driven by the characters of the day, especially with how quickly the story sets up Eevee's desire to meet an Espeon and Umbreon, and also the research fellows getting their next mission. On the whole, this episode doesn't focus heavily on the main gang, but at the same time, I appreciated how throughout the episode, Chloe is framed as notably adventurous and excitable, and particularly how she was the one asking Eevee if she wanted to travel instead of Eevee taking the lead and Chloe following suit. And considering how the Dawn episode went, it's good to see Chloe being more spontaneous on wanting to travel. While Chloe doesn't admittedly get to do much by herself within the episode beyond being a passive part, she still feels integrated practically. With that established, however, I find that the episode managed to still use its fairly standard format to present the viewers a quite enjoyable time. One thing the episode does well is that with an explicit location, it is not constrained from game lore to portray things a specific way, having instead the liberty to form unique lore for Eclipse Castle, which will feed into the story by putting in place the explanation that Espeon and Umbreon are worshipped, and even making clear said event involved the Lord Hisashi's brother, Tsuchiya, attempting to dethrone him, on top of getting a cute nod to real life in how the main building seen within the episode could be a clone for Hikone Castle in Kansai, Johto's real-world equivalent, which also makes certain to keep this a distinctly Johto episode by adding onto the region with some inspiration from reality. Very like how Vermilion City includes several locations inspired by areas within the real-life Yokohama. To enhance this, we even have a fairly good supporting cast and plot ideas for the episode, ranging from the titular Chloe lookalike, Haruhi. With the show not playing the once relatively frequent doppelganger plot since Princess Salvia, it's pretty easy to undertake and draw a reference to it, especially with Haruhi being the upcoming chief of the Eclipse Castle, but fortunately, the episode doesn't take long to differentiate itself, with Haruhi being perfectly comfortable in her duties with just the correct mixture of serious and playful to be enjoyable. Relatedly, one thing the episode does quite well is offering a solid message in its idea of how it's by working together that we are able to cover our weaknesses, whether between Pokemon or humans or just between humans, using the various roles and inclinations of Haruhi's evolutions, and also the fact that each is strong in day or night respectively, with the eclipse serving as a neat metaphorical and explicit symbol of said themes as an instant during which the sun and moon are joined together. That said, while the episode does manage to drag things mostly well once you account for what kind of story it is, there are still some flaws to make note of. More specifically, it's quite unfortunate how Chloe still ended up being a bit sidelined in an episode that started her out as proactive, and whether or not her kidnapping is incredibly brief, it is also a shame the episode left out completely Ash and Go rescuing her to catch up rapidly to Haruhi and Katsuki, which felt a bit like a scene was missing within the episode. This week's episode's rating is a 6 out of 10.